Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is time for our mini release. Hey everybody, so I am using Jaded Blossom's Spring Dies 2, along with their Flower Cluster stamp set, their Goody Bag die, their Happy Hello add-on, and their Happy Hello stamp set, and the brand new Easter word dies. These are adorable, and I'll be using them on my project today, along with Basil Bling paper. So I went ahead and I've got my stamps. I did use the card mat die also, and I cut it out of that pink from that Basil Bling pad. And I'm using the side that is not glittery. The glittery side I used on the die cut word. So I'm using my anti-static powder tool along with my Misty, and I'm going to be doing some stamping here on the front of this card mat die. All my die cutting today was done using my Gemini machine. So I'm just going to slap down this beautiful stamp set, this flower cluster stamp, using my Misty so I get a really good image. And I'm going to use Ink on 3's Juicy ink. This is my preferred ink for heat embossing. And I'm just going to make sure this is stamped really well. And then I'm going to use Ranger Fine Detail White Embossing Powder. Got my reverse tweezers out. And I'm just going to sprinkle this and cover it well with my Ranger Fine Detail White Embossing Powder. There we go. And now I'm going to pull out my Goody Bag die using that same Basil Bling pad, the matte side, not the shiny one. And I cut that out with my Gemini machine with the Goody Bag die. And I'm just going to pop that into my Misty, and I'm going to figure out where my stamped image is going to go. There we go. And I will add a little bit of anti-static powder tool to that. And then I'll stamp again with the Ink on 3's Juicy ink. I love this image. I think it's so pretty. And I just think it'll look gorgeous heat embossed in white. So there we go. So I've got my beautiful image there stamped, and I'm going to use Ranger Fine Detail White Embossing Powder again. And I'm going to just flick it off over my coffee filter. And then I'm pulling out my Marvy heat tool. This is just a cheapo heat tool. I keep saying I'm going to get a new one, but it hasn't died yet. When it's dead, I'll get a new one because it seems to work fine for me. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some much better ones out there, but I'm telling you, it works fine. So I just can't replace it. There we are. Melt my embossing powder. This is my favorite part of card making. melting embossing powder. I can't help it. Okay. And now I'm going to melt this one. I'm trying to show you. I don't know if it shows up very well on the video, but whatever. So I'm just making sure that the embossing powder is melted well and it's smooth and shiny. And now I'm going to stamp two little sentiments from the Happy Hello and the Happy Hello add-on. I'm going to stamp the word hello and the word spring. And I'm just going to stick that down. Now, just so you know, my new products from Jaded Blossom did not make it here in Canada yet. So this is why I'm doing some creative designing here. Okay, so obviously I'm stamping on that same matte side of that Basil Bling cardstock. So since it didn't meet me, I had to use the spring word dies and use them with an SVG cut. Now, I've told you before, SVGs just aren't as good as the die. So, trust me, this would look 100 times better with the actual die. So now I'm pulling out Distress Oxide ink in Dusty Concord and in Kitsch Flamingo. And I'm also going to pull out Picked Raspberry. I don't show you that part because I just wanted something a little darker. Now I'm pulling out little tiny blending tools, and I didn't clean them very well, and you'll see my boo-boo in a second here. But anyways, I'm just ink blending over this. I'm trying to go for a tone-on-tone look. At least that was the plan. So there we go. So like I said, I did not receive my dies in time, And normally I would be making the adorable octagon treat boxes too, like everybody else, but I didn't get them in time. So that's why I'm going with this. But trust me, when I do get them, you know, in hand, I will make a video and assemble all the octagon treat boxes like I always do and do a little release and review. So this is my boo-boo. You see the ink that went off on that pad? It was kind of greenish. Big mistake. So now I realize that I'm going to have to do some fixing. So what I do is I blend with my Kitsch Flamingo, and now I realize I'm going to have to bring in some purple to try and fix up my boo-boos. And that's just the way it is. So that's why my pink card is not tone on tone as much. It has some purple on there too. That wasn't my plan. My plan was originally just to stick with the pink on pink and the purple on the purple. But, you know, these are the accidents that happen. These are the things that happen when I'm crafting. But I think it turned out okay in the end. So there we go. And now I'm going to wipe off the residue that's on the white embossing powder. And I'll do that to both. So now you'll see that's the shiny side. Now I'm pulling up my ATG tape and I'm going to apply some ATG tape to this. And then I'm going to stick it down to an A2 sized landscape card. So that is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4.25 inches to give you an A2 sized horizontal fold or a landscape fold card. So now I'm going to stick that down in the center. Now all of the so-called die cutting for the words, you know, with the SVG, I did with the shiny side of the Basil Bling, and then I used CTI Glamma translucent paper, which is vellum, from cutcardstock.com for the backing of it. So now I'm pulling out red line tape, and I'm going to stick together this adorable goodie bag. This is one of my favorite dies from Jaded Blossom. You can fill it up with whatever you'd like, a little gift, little treats, you know, any of those things, a gift card even. Anyway, so now I'm sticking it together. It's super easy to put together. I like that it's all one die too. So you just run it through once and then you're in business. And now I'm going to stick down the flap on the bottom with the red line tape again. Red line is kind of my favorite when it comes to putting together a treat box. I find it's really, really strong. And then, you know, it you know, doesn't allow your treat box to fall apart or anything like that. There we go. So there's my treat box, and I'm trying to put an ink pad in there just to put some pressure on the bottom, and I slip in the juicy ink. So now I'm pulling out my, what is that called? Art glitter glue. And I'm just going to put it just behind the word itself. And I'm going to stick it down to my card front. Now, as soon as I get the dies, I'm going to replace, like add another layer to the die. So I'll have the nice rounded edges. There we go, weight it down. And I'm going to do the same thing with the word greetings. We're going to add it just behind the purple part, just so it doesn't show through the vellum itself. And there we go. Now it slightly overhangs on each side, but that doesn't bother me. And there we go. And then I've got some butterflies that I cut out of the Spring Dies 2 set from Jaded Blossom, out of that same CTI Glamma translucent paper from cutcardstock.com. And I'm just going to add those to my designs. And I didn't want to make it any more busy. That's why I'm using the translucent vellum, but it makes it, I don't know, to me it makes it look kind of ethereal and wispy and pretty, and that's what I was going for. So there we go. I'm going to add that to my card here. And of course I knock it off and, you know, cause all sorts of problems here, but we'll get it straight. Now, those little sentiments that I had that I stamped, I did trim them out with my paper trimmer. And now I'm going to pop them up using 3M foam tape, just with a little strip. So that says Easter hello, and the other one will say spring greetings. There we go. And, you know, you could certainly have done this all with dies, but I kind of like the look of stamping and dies together. I don't know, I just think it looks pretty. So now I'm going to use this art glitter glue, and I'm going to add some to the center of each of these butterflies, and I'll be using Little Things from Lucy's Cards Pearls, their soft snowball mix. So it's nice white, bright white. And I'm going to add little tiny pearls to the little bodies using my Studio Katia embellishment wand. Of course, I was having trouble picking them up because, you know, it is cold in Canada. It is freezing right now. And I have to tell you, my basement's a little on the cool side. So the wax on my Studio Katia embellishment wand isn't as sticky as it normally is. And that's what's going on here. And also, you know, I couldn't find my little triangle tray that I usually use to flip these in the right, you know, direction for my, you know, so it's easy for them to be grabbed. I just couldn't find them. My craft room's a mess. So I don't know. I have no excuses. It's just, it looks like a bomb went off in here, let me tell you. And I know you can see just a little piece and it already looks messy. Trust me. If you panned out just a little bit to the right or left, you'd go, scary stuff. It's a scary mess in here. Okay, there we go. So now I've decided I'm going to add a few more of these little pearls. The nice thing about this flower cluster stamp set is that it has these little round little dots around the image, and I'm going to replace them with a few of the little pearls. And I just think it adds, you know, like I said, a little bit more sparkle, not really sparkle, a little bit more shine, a little bit more dimension. But it's not too busy because it's white. You know, it doesn't, you're not adding another color. You know, I just think it turned out pretty cute. There we are, adding some more of these. Now, I am loving the new Octagon add-ons, the new Easter Octagon add-ons. They are so darn cute, and the design team has some amazing projects. So you want to hop on over to their blogs and check it out. And you certainly want to get this little mini release in your hands because it is just wonderful. You got to have all those Octagon add-ons. And of course, for me, all the word dies because I love the fonts that Jaded Blossom came up with these. And then the, you know, the outlines too, they're just fabulous. There we go. So now I'm pulling out my Spectrum Noir Clear Sparkle. And I'm just going to add a little bit of clear sparkle to some of the parts of the images. It will move the Distress Oxide ink around because it is water soluble. You know, it does move around a little bit. And just be aware of that. So it does pick it up. So you don't want to cross-contaminate. You want to wipe it off in between colors. But I really love the sparkle that it gives. Adds kind of to the ethereal quality that I was kind of going for with these cards. And like I said, had I not made a boo-boo, the pink card would have just been pink on pink. But, you know, like I said, these are the accidents that happen while crafting, and sometimes you just have to go with it. And there we go. Like adding this. I love the Spectrum Noir Clear Sparkle pen. I guess, are they called pens? I don't know if that's a marker pen. It's got a brush tip, so brush. I don't know. But I love it. Look how pretty that is. Just so pretty. I just love that. And I'm loving the Bazelle Bling cardstock too in that pad. It's just pretty. I don't know. I'm trying to show you how sparkly that the actual word die is. And there we go. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog and be inspired, and the Jaded Blossom store, because this is an adorable, amazing little mini release that you're going to want to get your hands on. And like I said, I will come back and do a release and review as soon as they come across the border into Canada. I will make a little video for you guys and show you how awesome everything is. So thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. And we will see you soon in my next one. Bye, everyone.